right. Looks like we are live on our YouTube channel. Going to just double check that we're also live on our other platform as well. Okay. Double check that we're also. Okay, well, I am seeing the notification that is showing up for our followers that we're live. I also see us on Facebook. If for some reason you don't end up hearing us or something happens, make sure that you use the chat function to let us know so we can properly adjust. Happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope that you are staying warm and staying safe regardless of where you're at, and that you are not watching this in a vehicle or anything like that because the roads are a little bit slick out there. I want to go ahead and introduce myself as Juliet Abdel, your president and CEO for the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And I always love Wednesdays because I get an opportunity to really get to know some of our awesome partners, the things that they do and the things that they care about. And I'm equally as enthused to share a little bit more about them with you so that you can learn more about these local businesses. But before we really jump into that, I want to re-emphasize a few functions to you. There is a share button on this video, whether you're watching it on Facebook or even YouTube. Make sure that you share this out to your network so they know that we're live. They can't join us right now. They can join us later on. So if you are watching this later on, give us a hashtag replay so we know that you did tune in and did engage into the broadcast as well. There's also a comment section. The comment section is the best way for you to get things off your chest. You can ask us questions, things that come to mind, little nuggets that you want us to try and address, or just give us pleasantries. And when you do, it will show up on our end. We're able to pull it up on the screen like we already have one of our guests, Parker Brown, giving a quick good morning message our way. Thank you, Parker, for being on here with us. If you don't feel comfortable commenting just yet, you can always react to the video. We love thumbs up. We always love hearts, all those great things. And even if you comment on YouTube, we're able to pull that as well. You can also send a little angry thing. It always, every now and then we get that, we're like, why? What did we say wrong, right? If you want to throw us off our game. But when you react to the video, then we can actually see who's live with us and can give you a shout out for being on here. Make sure that you have liked this page, that you follow us or subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you've landed here for the very first time, those are your ways of getting alerted when we post content or when we come to you in the future. And all of our videos, just so you're aware, are in the video section here on our Facebook page. They're in the video section on our YouTube channel as well. So if you're deciding whether or not to keep Netflix and want to get rid of that this month, you can watch all of the videos that we've had since March of 2020 and really spend a weekend doing that. With that, I want to welcome our guest. Hello, Andrea. I'm very excited to have you on here.
Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here.
Yes, and you look bundled up. I also see, I could see your windows behind you and there's snow and all that stuff. So you ventured out on the roadways today.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. It wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, I suppose, but yeah. I did.
Good. Well,
yes.
I am hoping that it stays relatively decent for those that are going out today. If you are going out, I always try and advise people, if you don't have to, do not get out, because it just makes it so much easier for our snow plowers, for those people that are trying to maintain safe roads and safe walkways, for us to actually get that done instead of having it smushed and moved around.
Right.
Jessica, thank you for hopping on with us. She is giving you a quick good morning message, Andrea, and welcoming you. into our organization as well. Well, Andrea, I have briefly gotten a chance to talk to you, but I'm dying to know more about who Andrea is. And I want you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, if that's okay, to our viewers. So they get to learn about the people behind some of these businesses that are locally owned and managed.
Okay. Well, I'm Andrea Perry. I am a Colorado native, been here my whole life. I'll never get used to the snow, though. That's just the truth. But yeah, I'm an associate. I'm an executive assistant here at Van Gogh Auto Glass. I've been working here since the end of September, so not too long, but I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, about me, it's pretty much it. I have like an Associates of Arts degree, a minor in business. My main focus is honestly my job and my family.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Bunch of
I love that.
Views.
Well, you are a rare breed because you are still a Colorado native. And snow is one of those things that I don't think you ever get used to it, right? Like it's just
so
cold.
Super cold. I mean, I even have I have a big space heater in here and I keep it at like 74 or 75 degrees, but
that is my type of room.
The windows are bad in here too, so it gets cold.
For sure. Well, thank you for making the effort to go out there and service people and do your role. Congrats on being with them since September. Time does fly, so it's almost been 6 months for you, honestly.
I know.
I mean, that's wild. But you've been doing a lot in your time there, and I know that you've gotten them plugged into the community and in some of those different efforts. But you mentioned that you've been an assistant with Van Gogh, and that's who we're going to be talking about. For people that don't know the brand or have never heard of the company, can you tell us who you all are and what you guys do?
Yeah, so Van Gogh Auto Glass has like a little over, I think, 35 years experience in total. The owner has, this business here itself has been around for, I think, a little over 11 years now. Same owner. We're very small. We have a close little group of us. 4 technicians in total. So we're a good team. They work hard and they're very professional and well-mannered. So it's nice. But we service all vehicles, all makes, models, years, all of that. Windshields, back glass, quarter glass, especially with this kind of weather. We get a lot of phone calls like that just because they break or shatter when it gets so cold and the heat. And so, yeah, we do offer a lot of different things for our customers as well. We also, we like to support our seniors and our veterans, and we do little discounts and things like that. We also, all of our vendors, actually, all of our glass products that we do get, it's all really good glass. So depending on what you need, we are local in the Front Range, so we do commute mobile. We can do things in shop, just kind of depends on your preference. We also I take care of all of the insurance stuff and as well. I know that can be difficult with people who don't really like their insurance companies and don't like spending time on the phone. We can do all of that for you. So that's another thing. We like to just make it as short and easy as possible for our customers who come and get things from us. So.
Well, I love that quick overview, a quick Snapchat of who you all are. We did have a question come through as you were talking, Andrea, so I wanted to pull it up on the screen to allow us to see that question, give you a chance to read it and maybe answer it to our viewer. And this is from Parker Brown. Parker is asking if your company, Van Gogh Auto, is the same as company as Van Gogh and Window, Van Gogh and Broomfield.
No, Window Van Gogh is different. It's a different organization.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we are just Van Gogh Auto Glass and Broomfield.
Yeah. Oh, great question, Parker. I was like, maybe we just saw that and jumbled up the name and we didn't. I didn't realize there was actually another one that was called that. So yes, we are talking about 2 different companies. This one,
separate. Yep.
Yes,
totally different entities. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you all provide different services around glass repair for vehicles, that you give the mobile commute option. Mobile commute, I'm assuming that you are going out to some of your customers and providing that service. Mm-hmm. Is there a radius that you are secluded to, or do you go as far, south? Where does that geography kind of stop?
We go pretty far, all over the Denver metro area. I mean, if you're going to if you want things done like in, Breckenridge or somewhere kind of far like that, we do charge a trip charge for things like that. But no, I mean, we go pretty far for the most part. So it just kind of depends on your area and where you're at, and then kind of like what our schedule looks like, and then the best time we can get someone out to places with a good distance. So.
Well, and I think that approach is really nice whenever you're not limiting yourself to a specific boundary. But I think what I even like even more is that you can support someone who's outside of that immediate. So you're not saying no to them. You're just saying, there's an additional. So
Right.
if they have worked with you or they know of you, that they can still utilize you. They're not limited to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, say you have a really awful windshield. I mean, you can't exactly drive it to the shop either, so it's nice that we can go out and we can do things for the people. And also we do recalibration. So for those of you who have cameras and all the fancy gadgets and gear, we do all of that as well. So that also helps a lot.
Absolutely. I bet it does, especially right now, right? When we're talking about that snowy weather and everything that's affected by it.
Yeah.
You mentioned handling insurance too. So kind of being that intermediary for some of your customers and maybe the insurance company, if they have one, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have insurance to go through you, correct?
No, not at all. Nope. You can always pay cash out of pocket. I always recommend if you do have insurance, always call, find out what your deductible is, kind of see what they'd be willing to pay for you. That kind of thing. But yeah, we always can give you, quotes on cash pricing and everything for whatever it is that you need, even if it's a little quarter glass or, whatever it is. So sliders, sunroofs, that kind of thing.
That's perfect. I love that as well. I know I've been taking notes. So for those of you that have hopped on here, I've typed in some of these quick facts that we've learned of our partner that's on here with us. And I just wanted to get more detail as we're going through this. Hopefully these are answering some questions for you that come to mind. You mentioned being locally owned and having several decades of experience and everything. Or is the how does that play into some of the products that you mentioned? I know you said your vendors and glass are super quality. So, I'd imagine that you are constantly looking for, what's best to place for your customers.
Right. And we also want to get, not only ourselves the good price, but our customer as well. So, I mean, we go from anywhere from we can do, what is it called? OEM glass, which is dealer glass. It just kind of depends on how much you want to spend and the brand that the quantity, the quality you want. So it just kind of depends, but we do have many options. So yeah. And like I said, we do all, years, makes, models, all that kind of thing. So, like the older the car, the more finicky and the more pieces and bolts and nuts and things it has to it. But just, kind of depends on what you have. So
yeah, it's like a puzzle. I feel like, each one's a little bit different. It's the same, but everything's a little bit different. And yeah, you're right. Depending on the year that it is, the make that it is, that all plays a big part in how you guys service them and go around it as well. There's also taking the vehicle directly to your shop. So are you open all the time that people can do that? Are you open just weekdays?
We do recommend calling to make the appointment so we can go ahead and make sure we have everything that you're going to need for your vehicle in shop. But yeah, we can pretty much, meet all the expectations. So whether they wanted to come here or go mobile, that's something we can do too. We do have like a cute little waiting area out there, which has like Wi-Fi, TV and all that. So you don't have to just like drop your car and go. You can hang out while it gets worked on and stuff like that too. So it's kind of nice.
Absolutely. What is, and this might be a random question that kind of I just thought to ask, and I'm sure that varies just depending on what is getting serviced. But if I were thinking of, a windshield, is that something that is so time consuming that that people put off because of how time consuming it is, and maybe they have a misunderstanding of how simple it can be?
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you call or where you take your car to. But I mean, a windshield, here we get them done in about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So it just kind of depends. I mean, that includes your recalibration, all of that stuff. So depending on what your car needs, it shouldn't take longer than a couple of hours for sure.
Absolutely. We've got some more people that have joined us on here, Andrea. So I'm just going to pull one of their quick comments up. while I scroll through. Brian, thank you for being on here, and good morning to you as well. We have Andrea from Van Gogh Auto. They are in Broomfield, service the entire metro area and even beyond. They've talked to us a little bit about some of the services they offer. And quick fact to you, Andrea, this Brian is also a Colorado native. So you
Hi.
guys are
I hear there's not many of us left, so
you guys are quickly getting pushed out by folks like me that have chosen to make Colorado home.
well, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy it, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've loved it. It's been 6 years that have flown by.
Yes.
So there's a lot of companies that are out there, Andrea, and we even saw that example when Parker was asking, "Are you guys the same as this?" You know, there's some people that do exactly what you do in terms of services, and then some that do a little bit but not everything. So how do you differentiate yourself, you know, your company? How do you make yourself stand out from some of those others that might be in the similar line of work?
Honestly, I would just say our quality is good. And also I can, you know, give a huge shout out to our technicians. They do a phenomenal job and they do it with respect, you know, so it makes it that much more pleasant to work with them too. So if I know that they treat us good here in the office, I can only imagine how good they are to the people they're going out and chatting with and, you know, doing the service for.
Yeah.
So it makes it nice. But yeah, like I said too, we get great glass, and quality is what counts, especially when you want, you know, something for your car or for your windshield and things like that. You just want to make sure the job, I suppose, gets done correctly and efficiently.
Yeah, and more, you know, we're all constantly on the go.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those, like, are you wanting to just kind of, you're going to see that consistently. It's not like it's a one-time expense that you maybe, you know, do and put off to the side. You're like consistently using that. So you want the best quality and the best thing that's possible to make sure
Yes.
that you're,
And I think too, a lot of people just think it's, you know, thousands of dollars, and it's so it's really not. It's not that bad, I promise.
I love that you shared that, because I wanted to transition into maybe some reasons why to get your, you know, a windshield replaced, for example, and I know you do more than windshield, so I'll start asking the other things here in a little bit as well, since we've got some time on our hands to talk through some of those. So you would say the myth that's out there is that it's super expensive to have something repaired or replaced.
That, and I think people are just scared to talk to their insurance company or ask the question, you know, like, what is my deductible? What can I do to not have to pay for less coverage? You know, even if it is an extra $12 a month out of your pocket, in the long run, it is worth it. So it just kind of depends, you know, what you can afford, what you want to do. There are options, you know,
So yeah, thank you for that. I'm just quickly pulling up some of my other quick thoughts that I have. So if someone, for example, has a chip on their windshield, I feel like, you know, more and more people are saying, like, you should get that fixed quickly, like act on it fast. Why do you think that is? And do you guys say that, like, if you have a chip on your windshield?
It is important to do, especially like if you have a chip and it's going to be a crazy storm like this, the odds of that cracking and spidering out, it's going to happen for sure. So I would definitely recommend getting your chip repair fixed. Plus, it's a lot cheaper just to fix that chip repair than have a whole blown out windshield too. So you might as well try to save what you can when you can.
Yeah. That was perfect. You actually transitioned into something else. I was going to ask, like, is it cheaper to actually get it repaired than just getting it fully replaced?
If you can get it repaired, I would definitely recommend getting it repaired. You know, we do chip repairs in shop for $65, and then it's $75 to do the chip repairs mobile. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I mean, if it's, you know, the size of a quarter or smaller, that's something we can definitely fix. If it's, you know, missing chunks of glass or it's already kind of spidered out to crazy directions, definitely want to get that replaced for sure.
Well, and I think that's a big part of why you say, like, act on it fast, because when you first get it, like, you do see like a little nick in your windshield and you're like, oh, darn it, you know, and you might put it off, and it spreads, like you say, and it's more than just that nick at the end of the day, you know?
Yes.
Does having numerous cracks and chips in your windshield, can that actually shatter more easily, like on impact, or
It kind of depends on where they're at. If they're kind of scattered around, it wouldn't make that big of a deal. I mean, I know we can do up to 3 chip repairs on the same vehicle before you would have to actually get it replaced. But yeah, I mean, if there's a bunch of them, we would recommend something like that, definitely. But if they're small and they can be filled, we definitely would just refill those for you guys.
Awesome.
It's like a repair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, too, insurance usually will help you out with that as, another thing you got to talk to your insurance about,
Yeah.
Which is why I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say, which you help through the process, because I know a lot of people don't enjoy that route, and want to spend their time doing other things. You mentioned something earlier, and that was really around, if I'm not mistaken, it was windshield calibration, or was it just calibration in general for vehicles?
Recalibration, yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that may not know what that means, can we tell them a little bit about what that process, like what that is?
Yeah. So like if you have cameras, like lane departure warning system, things like that, like if your car kind of goes at your lane and it pulls you back, that's going to need a recalibration. So basically that's a safety feature, and it's something that we have to do by law. So it's a safety protocol kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's no way to kind of get around that.
And would you say that if it's not recalibrated or dusted, that it could lead to kind of just dangerous driving and accidents because it is more of a safety feature?
Yeah, because then your car wouldn't tell you nothing would be accurate.
Yeah.
So it is important.
Yeah, and at some point, whenever I was kind of reading a little bit more about, by any means, I'm not like a car person, like I am like a get in and go. But I would think that it also affects having a misaligned camera outside of just kind of when we talk about how it's dangerous, is that it could affect other features in your vehicle, like your cruise control, your lighting, and all of that is contingent on your camera.
Yes, all of that.
Awesome. So if they, outside of a windshield replacement, if someone came to you, would you be able to still also help them? Like if their dashboard showed like shows a fault code that says like it could be the something like that.
Yeah, we can always tell them, we can always print out exactly what it's, what they're passing, what they're failing on. And then at that point, depending on what that is, they would take it to their dealership or whoever does their body work kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they would go that route. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I know you don't know this, but I've personally utilized your service before. And I did do the mobile option where you guys came out and replaced my entire windshield. And you were not only the most prompt, but you also, the service, as you were saying, was very, the technician that came out talked with me right before he did that. And he came all the way into my garage. So I didn't have to move my vehicle or anything. I ran back up here. I think I had a broadcast that day. So I ran back up here while he was working on it and did a live stream and then went back down, and he was already finishing it up. Like he finished it, I want to say it was within like a 40 at most. And I have a little car. I've got like a little Yaris, so it did not take very long. But his directions were great. It was a smooth process, and it wasn't an arm and a leg. And I quoted and this was before you guys came on board. That's why I was like, you don't know this. Fun fact. But it was I had gone through, I think it was Brian that used you guys. He had utilized you all, and then he was like, they're really good. And I had compared around to see some of those people had not, they didn't drive out, super far, or they wanted me to take my car in, or, they wanted you to just kind of drop it off. And those are factors when you're choosing who to go to that you really should be considering. Is your time, does it take away from you doing something else, outside of how long it takes? And being able to multitask nowadays, I think, is so important.
Right. Absolutely. And people like callbacks, and people like accurate numbers. And when you call somebody for a quote, like give them the same quote every time. Like, it's just, I find a lot of places don't usually.
You're right. Yeah. Don't change it. Or, well, it depends on this and that. And you're like, what are these factors? Like lay it all out for me. So I make that informed decision. But you also offer like a guarantee on your window replacements as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. We have our warranties and everything. And those are always, printed out on every single invoice for everybody to see on there. So yeah, we guarantee our work for sure.
Well, Parker had a quick question that came to his mind as we were chit chatting a little bit more about not only my experience as a consumer, but some of the things that you guys that differentiates you from others. And it was as soon as you touched on the service, I had to give that little plug in of what I went through. But Parker's asking if you replace a windshield, can you do a recalibrate if the tires are not factory size? He was told that by a company this past summer, I suppose, that they couldn't do his recalibrating because his tires were an inch too big.
I haven't heard that before, but hang on, I can actually. You know what? I have not heard that.
Yeah.
That's kind of different.
Right.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at this really quick and see if it says anything about. Yeah. So according to here, I'm looking at one of our recalibration sheets. So it looks like you can. It can tell the front, right and left, and rear air pressure tires. Yeah, your air pressure and everything.
So it can't tell you, but it shouldn't affect you getting it fixed.
No, it shouldn't affect that.
Huh. Well, Parker, another reason why you should be doing business with another chamber member. There is your answer from Andrea. That seems like yeah.
Unless I'm wrong, I'm.
Yeah, that was
know,
just interesting.
Yeah,
that was
a new one. I'll have to double check on that.
So for those people that are looking for you physically, can you share with us the address?
We're in 7270 West 118th Place, and that's Broomfield, Colorado, 80020.
Perfect. And if they're trying to call, what's a great way of giving you a phone call?
It would be 303-464-1500.
Awesome. And then I've included both of those details into the chat section for folks to be able to find you physically, or at least give you a phone call after this broadcast if they have direct questions. I know we touched on your ability to come out and really the best ways to call, get the details that you need, make that appointment, everything. The hours I just wanted to list for people as well, and that's in the chat for them to be aware of, Monday through Friday, Saturday even as well, which is nice that you haven't. I always feel like for us that work, weekdays, you're like, when am I supposed to get stuff done?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
and even if it is just a half a day, it's still, you can, it's nice.
Makes a huge difference for sure. Well, Andrea, was there anything that I didn't touch on that you were hoping that to get out there about your company, about yourself, or anything else before I start winding us down?
Not that I can think of right now. I'm sure once we hang up from this.
Sure. If you do think of something, I'm more than happy to come back and include it in the chat for folks. And for people that are tuned in later on or watching this, with us, and you had, I know Parker just laid it all out with his own experience, but if you had something that you wanted addressed and didn't feel comfortable listing maybe and wanted to DM our page, you can do so. We'll get that over to the team over at Van Gogh Auto so that they can be able to get your question addressed. We've included information about them, and we're very excited to have Andrea here with us, of course, to share a little bit more about herself, about the business that's local, that's supportive of community. And I hope that you hit the share button on this and choose to do business with them, of course, locally. Before I completely close out of this, if you're tuned in with us and you were a We Love Westy sweepstakes participating customer, we have one ticket that hasn't been claimed yet. So you have until 5 p.m. today to let us know if you have that so you can pick up the cash monies around that. But I do want to encourage everyone to be safe, drive safely, stay warm. Andrea, thank you for spending a good part of your morning with us. I'm glad that we were able to bring you on here. I know I've had to reshuffle my schedule to accommodate. You've had to reschedule your schedule to accommodate my schedule to get you guys on here, but I was very happy that we were able to.
I really appreciate it too, very much.
Absolutely. Well, you stay warm, and I know we'll be bringing you back hopefully in the future, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.